Keir Starmer and the Labour Party are under intense scrutiny as fresh allegations emerge about the party's hidden plans to undermine Brexit and potentially realign the UK with the European Union. Critics, including prominent Brexiteers like Nigel Farage, claim that Starmer is quietly plotting to return Britain to the EU's orbit, despite Labour's public stance of respecting the referendum result. The accusation is sending shockwaves through the political landscape, fueling a growing narrative that Labour's promises to make Brexit work may actually be a smokescreen for an EU comeback. The explosive claims come after Starmer made several statements hinting at the benefits of closer economic ties with the EU, leading many to question whether his true intentions are to rejoin the single market or customs union. Farage, ever the vocal critic of anyone he sees as threatening the hard-won gains of Brexit, has slammed Starmer's approach as a betrayal of the British people's vote. Farage argues that any moves to soften the UK's relationship with the EU would effectively reverse the independence that voters secured in 2016. Starmer may be saying one thing publicly, but his actions speak louder, Farage said in a recent interview. The Labour leader has always been a staunch Remainer, and his rhetoric about aligning with the EU on trade and economic issues is a clear attempt to re-establish ties with Brussels. This is nothing short of a backdoor attempt to drag Britain back into the EU. The allegations have sparked a fierce debate. Supporters of Brexit are adamant that any move to align the UK more closely with the EU is a direct betrayal of the 2016 referendum, where 52% of the country voted to leave the European Union. They argue that a return to the EU's rules and regulations would erode British sovereignty, leaving the nation without the power to govern itself freely. Many are asking if Starmer is secretly plotting to reverse Brexit without the public ever realizing it. Social media has been flooded with reactions as #StarmerBetrayal trends on Twitter. Voters who supported Leave in 2016 are voicing their anger, demanding that Starmer publicly clarify his position before the next general election. "We fought hard to leave the EU. We're not going to let Labour drag us back in," one user wrote. This is a betrayal, plain and simple. On the other hand, Labour supporters argue that Starmer's stance is simply about ensuring the UK's post-Brexit future remains stable and prosperous, especially in the wake of the economic challenges the country faces. But critics are unconvinced, pointing to Starmer's history as a leader of the Remain campaign and his continued emphasis on European cooperation. For many, the question isn't whether Starmer will respect the Brexit result, it's whether Labour's version of making Brexit work could be a Trojan horse for rejoining the EU in all but name. With a general election looming, the stakes for Labour couldn't be higher. The party is walking a tightrope, attempting to keep both Remain supporters and Brexit voters on side. If Starmer's alleged secret plans to re-engage with the EU are true, Labour risks alienating the very voters who switched to the Conservatives in 2019 due to Brexit. As the allegations swirl, analysts warn that this could be the issue that defines the next election. If these claims gain traction, it could be devastating for Starmer's credibility, one commentator noted. Voters who believed in Brexit will not forgive a backtrack on the referendum. With the battle over Brexit's legacy once again heating up, the future of Britain's relationship with the EU remains uncertain. Whether Starmer is secretly plotting to abandon Brexit or simply trying to make the best of a difficult situation, one thing is clear: the next few months will determine the political fate of the nation. And as tensions rise, the British public must demand the truth before it's too late.